Enjoy sugar without the side effects, a balanced approach. Do you love sugar but hate the consequences? Imagine enjoying your favorite treats without the blood sugar crashes, cravings, or guilt. What if you could indulge smartly and still maintain a healthy lifestyle? Unlock the secret to balancing pleasure and well-being with simple, science-backed strategies. Sugar is everywhere, and let's face it, it's delicious. But the more we indulge, the more we face negative effects on our health, energy, and mood. In this audiobook, we'll explore the pleasure principle, the idea that you can enjoy sugar with fewer consequences by following proven strategies that support your metabolism. Whether you're struggling with cravings or simply want to make more informed choices, this guide offers the tools to help you enjoy sugar in a way that serves your health and happiness. Focus points. The science of sugar. Understand how sugar impacts your body, including the roles of glucose, insulin, and dopamine. Managing cravings. Learn why cravings occur and how to manage them effectively without total deprivation. Timing your treats. Discover the best times to enjoy sugary foods to minimize spikes and crashes. Combining foods wisely. Find out which food combinations help reduce the negative effects of sugar, including the role of fiber, protein, and fats. Glucose hacks for sugar lovers. Practical, science-backed tips for stabilizing your blood sugar while still enjoying sweet foods. Mindful indulgence. Strategies for being more intentional and present with your food choices so you can fully savor your sweets without guilt. Learning outcomes. Grasp the pleasure principle of sugar consumption and how to enjoy treats without wreaking havoc on your health. Understand how to time your sugar intake for optimal energy and fewer crashes. Learn the science behind cravings and master techniques to control them. Discover how combining sugar with fiber, protein, and fats can reduce glucose spikes. Develop mindful eating habits that allow you to enjoy sweets with satisfaction and control. Focus point 1. The science of sugar. How it impacts your body. Sugar is a fundamental part of the human diet and plays a significant role in our energy systems. However, its effects on the body are complex, impacting several critical processes, particularly the regulation of glucose, insulin, and dopamine. Understanding how sugar interacts with these key elements offers a clearer picture of why it's so appealing and yet potentially harmful if consumed in excess. Glucose, the body's fuel. Glucose is the primary source of energy for most cells in the body, especially the brain. When you consume sugar, it breaks down into glucose and enters the bloodstream. This leads to a rapid increase in blood sugar levels, providing an immediate boost of energy. However, this quick spike is often followed by an equally fast drop, leading to what's commonly referred to as a sugar crash. This roller coaster effect is a key reason why many people experience fluctuating energy levels after eating sugary foods. In extreme cases, consistently high glucose intake can overwhelm the body's natural regulatory systems, increasing the risk of metabolic disorders like type 2 diabetes. According to the World Health Organization, excessive sugar consumption is a leading factor in the global rise of obesity and metabolic syndrome, which includes high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and abnormal cholesterol levels. Insulin, the regulator. When blood sugar rises, the pancreas releases insulin, a hormone responsible for helping glucose enter the cells to be used for energy or stored as glycogen for later use. Insulin acts as a gatekeeper, maintaining balance in the bloodstream. In a healthy body, this process works smoothly, but when sugar is consumed in excess, the system becomes strained. Over time, cells may become resistant to insulin, meaning the body needs to produce more of it to manage blood sugar levels. This condition, known as insulin resistance, is a precursor to type 2 diabetes. A study from the New England Journal of Medicine showed that diets high in refined sugars lead to increased insulin resistance over time. Insulin resistance can cause a range of health issues, from weight gain to cardiovascular disease. The connection between high sugar consumption and insulin resistance highlights the importance of moderating sugar intake. As Dr. Robert Lustig, a leading expert on sugar and its effects on the body, puts it, sugar is not just empty calories, it is toxic calories. It alters your hormones, shifts your metabolism, and increases your risk of disease. Dopamine, the pleasure chemical. While glucose fuels the body, sugar also affects the brain in powerful ways, particularly by triggering the release of dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter responsible for feelings of pleasure and reward, and sugar stimulates its release in much the same way as addictive substances like alcohol or nicotine. This is why sugary foods can feel so satisfying, making it hard to stop at just one bite. Research conducted at Princeton University demonstrated that rats given access to sugar exhibited signs of addiction, including cravings and withdrawal symptoms when the sugar was removed from their diet. This study underscores sugar's potential to hijack the brain's reward system, creating a cycle of dependence. The link between sugar and dopamine explains why people often turn to sweets in moments of stress or emotional distress, what we refer to as emotional eating. While dopamine gives an immediate sense of pleasure, it also diminishes over time, leading to the need for more sugar to achieve the same effect. This creates a vicious cycle of craving and consumption that can be difficult to break. Balancing sugar intake. The body's response to sugar is a complex interplay between glucose, insulin, and dopamine, all of which have immediate and long-term consequences. The key to managing sugar's impact is moderation and an understanding of how these processes work. As Harvard Health points out, incorporating more whole foods, like fruits and vegetables, which contain fiber, can slow the absorption of sugar and reduce the negative effects of glucose spikes. Recommendations. Consume sugar in moderation. Excessive sugar intake disrupts both insulin function and dopamine regulation. Limiting added sugars in the diet can help maintain stable glucose levels, preventing the roller coaster of energy highs and lows. Pair sugars with fiber and protein. Combining sugary foods with sources of fiber and protein can slow the absorption of glucose, preventing sharp spikes in blood sugar. This also supports a more gradual release of dopamine, reducing the likelihood of cravings. Prioritize natural sugars. Opt for natural sources of sugar, such as fruits, which contain additional nutrients and fiber. This helps to regulate blood sugar levels more effectively than refined sugars found in processed foods. Stay mindful of emotional eating. Recognizing the brain's dopamine-driven desire for sugar can help prevent emotional eating. Practicing mindful eating techniques can help reduce sugar intake by focusing on the enjoyment of each bite, rather than eating to soothe emotions. By understanding how sugar affects the body on multiple levels, you can make informed choices about when and how to consume it. Rather than eliminating sugar entirely, the goal is to manage its impact by being mindful of its effects on glucose, insulin, and dopamine. Focus point 2, managing cravings. Why they occur and how to control them without deprivation. Cravings, particularly for sugary foods, are a common struggle for many people. They often arise unexpectedly and can feel overwhelming. To effectively manage cravings, it's important to understand why they occur and how to satisfy them in a healthy, sustainable way, without resorting to total deprivation, which often backfires. Why cravings occur. Cravings are rooted in a combination of physiological, psychological, and environmental factors. One of the primary drivers is the body's need for energy. Since sugar provides a quick source of fuel, the brain often signals a craving for something sweet when energy levels drop. This is particularly true during periods of fatigue or stress, when the body feels the need for an immediate boost. Cravings can also stem from a lack of essential nutrients. When the body is deficient in certain vitamins or minerals, it may send out hunger signals, which are sometimes misinterpreted as a need for sugary foods. For example, magnesium deficiency has been linked to increased cravings for chocolate, a food high in magnesium. Moreover, psychological factors play a significant role in driving cravings. People often associate sugary foods with comfort and reward, which is why stress, boredom, or emotional distress can trigger intense desires for sweets. A study published in the journal Appetite revealed that emotional eating is linked to heightened cravings for high-sugar, high-fat foods. Lastly, environmental cues, such as the smell of fresh-baked cookies or seeing a commercial for ice cream, can trigger cravings by tapping into the brain's reward centers. This is the reason cravings often feel like they come out of nowhere. They are often responses to external stimuli. The role of hormones in cravings. Hormones, particularly ghrelin and leptin, also play a key role in cravings. Ghrelin, often referred to as the hunger hormone, increases appetite and signals the brain to eat when the stomach is empty. On the other hand, leptin, the satiety hormone, signals when the body is full. When these hormones are out of balance, due to lack of sleep, stress, or a poor diet, cravings for sugary foods tend to increase. A groundbreaking study from the Journal of Clinical Investigation showed that sleep deprivation significantly reduces leptin levels and raises ghrelin levels, resulting in heightened hunger and cravings for energy-dense foods like sugar and refined carbohydrates. This explains why many people feel a stronger desire for sweets after a poor night's sleep. Psychological triggers and reward systems. Beyond the physical aspects, cravings are closely tied to the brain's reward systems. As discussed earlier, sugar stimulates the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter that reinforces pleasurable behaviors. When you indulge in a sugary snack, your brain records the experience as rewarding, encouraging you to repeat it in the future. Over time, this can lead to habitual cravings, especially in response to emotional stress or external cues. As neuropsychologist Judson Brewer notes in his work on cravings and addiction, cravings are not the problem. They are a solution to a deeper issue, often a means of avoiding discomfort, whether physical or emotional. Brewer's research suggests that acknowledging the root cause of a craving, rather than merely trying to resist it, can be more effective in reducing the frequency and intensity of cravings. Managing cravings without deprivation. The key to managing cravings is not to eliminate them entirely, but to develop strategies that allow you to respond to them in a healthy way. Total deprivation often leads to binging, as it triggers a sense of scarcity in the brain, making you want the forbidden food even more. Instead, learning to manage cravings involves balance, mindfulness, and healthier alternatives. 1. Satisfy cravings with healthier alternatives. Rather than denying yourself entirely, opt for healthier alternatives that can still satisfy your sweet tooth. For example, if you're craving something sweet, try a piece of dark chocolate or a handful of berries. These foods offer natural sweetness along with nutrients and fiber, which help regulate blood sugar and curb the intensity of cravings. Research has shown that replacing sugary snacks with whole fruits can significantly reduce the desire for processed sweets over time. 2. Practice mindful eating. Mindfulness can be a powerful tool in managing cravings. By slowing down and paying full attention to the sensory experience of eating, you can often reduce the intensity of a craving. This involves savoring each bite, noticing the taste, texture, and aroma of the food, and tuning into your body's signals of hunger and fullness. A study conducted by Harvard Medical School found that participants who practiced mindful eating reported fewer instances of emotional eating and cravings. Mindfulness helps create a gap between the urge to eat and the actual decision to do so, allowing you to make more conscious choices. 3. Address underlying emotions. Since cravings are often linked to emotional states, addressing the underlying emotions can help reduce their frequency. Instead of reaching for sugary comfort foods when stressed or upset, try alternative coping mechanisms like journaling, exercising, or talking to a friend. By dealing directly with the emotional cause of the craving, you can prevent the cycle of emotional eating from taking hold. Recommendations. Managing cravings is about striking a balance between satisfying your desires and maintaining healthy eating habits. Here are some tailored strategies to manage cravings without resorting to deprivation. Balance your meals. Ensure that each meal contains a mix of proteins, fats, and fiber to keep blood sugar levels stable. This will reduce the likelihood of experiencing intense cravings later in the day. Stay hydrated. Thirst is often mistaken for hunger. Drinking water before responding to a craving can help determine if you're truly hungry or simply dehydrated. Allow for small indulgences. Allow yourself occasional treats to prevent feelings of deprivation. When you do indulge, do so mindfully and without guilt. The key is moderation, not elimination. Prioritize sleep and stress management. Since cravings are heavily influenced by hormones, getting enough sleep and managing stress are essential. Practices like meditation, yoga, or even deep breathing exercises can help regulate cortisol and reduce the likelihood of stress-induced cravings. Understanding why cravings occur and learning how to manage them effectively allows you to maintain a healthy relationship with food. By balancing pleasure with mindful choices, you can enjoy your favorite treats in moderation without the negative consequences of overindulgence. Focus point 3. Timing your treats. Discover the best times to enjoy sugary foods to minimize spikes and crashes. While sugar cravings are natural, when you indulge is just as important as what you choose to eat. Proper timing of sugary foods can have a significant impact on how your body processes glucose, preventing sharp blood sugar spikes and subsequent crashes. By understanding how your metabolism operates throughout the day, you can make informed choices that let you enjoy sweet treats without compromising your energy levels or overall health. How blood sugar spikes and crashes work. When you consume sugary foods, your body breaks them down into glucose, which enters the bloodstream. In response, your pancreas releases insulin, a hormone that helps shuttle glucose into your cells to be used for energy or stored for later. If you eat a large amount of sugar at once, particularly on an empty stomach, your blood sugar levels spike rapidly. This spike is often followed by a crash when the insulin overcompensates, leaving you feeling tired, irritable, and craving more sugar to restore your energy. Repeated cycles of spikes and crashes can lead to long-term health problems, including insulin resistance, weight gain, and an increased risk of type 2 diabetes. However, the timing of your sugar intake can make a notable difference in how your body responds to glucose, allowing you to indulge in treats with fewer negative effects. The best times to eat sugary foods. Research suggests that certain times of day are better for consuming sugary foods than others. One key principle is to avoid eating sugar first thing in the morning. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that consuming high-sugar foods early in the day, before your body has had a chance to stabilize blood sugar levels, can lead to higher and more sustained glucose spikes throughout the day. Breakfast should focus on proteins, healthy fats, and fiber to set a stable foundation for the rest of the day. Instead, the best time to enjoy sugary foods is after a balanced meal that contains fiber, protein, and healthy fats. These macronutrients slow down the absorption of glucose into the bloodstream, minimizing the intensity of blood sugar spikes. This is why having dessert after lunch or dinner, rather than on an empty stomach, can significantly reduce its impact on your blood sugar levels. A clinical trial published in Diabetes Care showed that eating dessert following a high-fiber, high-protein meal resulted in lower postprandial glucose levels compared to eating the same dessert alone. Afternoon treats and the circadian rhythm. Your body's circadian rhythm, the internal clock that regulates sleep, metabolism, and hormones, also plays a role in determining the best time for treats. According to research from Cell Metabolism, insulin sensitivity tends to be highest in the early afternoon. This means that your body is better equipped to handle sugar and carbohydrates at this time, making the afternoon an optimal window for indulging in a sweet snack. Additionally, consuming sugary foods late at night can disrupt your circadian rhythm and negatively impact sleep quality. High sugar intake in the evening has been linked to increased wakefulness during the night and difficulty falling asleep, as demonstrated in a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Therefore, if you're craving something sweet, it's best to satisfy that desire earlier in the day rather than close to bedtime. Pairing sugar with physical activity. Another important consideration when timing your sugar intake is physical activity. After a workout, your body's muscles are particularly receptive to glucose, using it to replenish glycogen stores that have been depleted during exercise. This process, known as glycogen replenishment, means that consuming a sugary snack after a workout can be beneficial. Instead of leading to fat storage or a glucose spike, the sugar will be rapidly absorbed by your muscles for recovery. An investigation by Sports Medicine found that athletes who consumed carbohydrates, including sugars, within 30 minutes of exercise had significantly better muscle recovery and glycogen replenishment compared to those who delayed carbohydrate intake. For non-athletes, engaging in moderate physical activity, such as a brisk walk, after consuming a sugary treat, can also help to mitigate blood sugar spikes by promoting glucose uptake in the muscles. Hormonal influence and sugar timing. Your body's hormone levels fluctuate throughout the day, influencing how it processes sugar. For instance, cortisol, a hormone that helps regulate metabolism, is typically highest in the morning and gradually declines throughout the day. High cortisol levels can cause blood sugar to rise more quickly, which is another reason why consuming sugary foods early in the morning can lead to stronger glucose spikes. Conversely, consuming sugary foods when cortisol levels are lower, typically in the afternoon or early evening, can help stabilize blood sugar. However, it's important to be mindful of portion sizes and to pair sugar with other macronutrients to prevent overconsumption and its negative effects. Practical strategies for timing treats. To minimize spikes and crashes, the goal is not to eliminate sugary treats entirely, but to consume them in a way that aligns with your body's natural rhythms and metabolic processes. Below are some strategies to help you time your treats more effectively. Eat sugar after a meal. Whenever possible, enjoy your sweet treats after a balanced meal that contains fiber, protein, and fats. This helps slow the digestion of sugar and prevents rapid spikes in blood sugar. Choose the afternoon window. If you want a sweet snack, aim to consume it during the afternoon when your insulin sensitivity is at its peak. This allows your body to process glucose more efficiently, reducing the risk of a sugar crash. Avoid late-night sugars. Try to steer clear of sugary foods late at night, as they can interfere with your circadian rhythm and disrupt your sleep. If you have a sweet tooth in the evening, opt for a low-sugar option like fruit. Pair sugar with physical activity. Use post-exercise as an opportunity to enjoy sugary foods without the negative consequences. The sugar will be used to replenish glycogen stores rather than being stored as fat. Balance your treats with protein and fiber. When eating sugar, pair it with protein and fiber-rich foods to reduce its impact on your blood sugar levels. Recommendations. Timing your treats strategically can allow you to enjoy sugary foods with fewer health consequences. Key recommendations include: avoid eating sugar on an empty stomach, particularly in the morning. Prioritize meals that stabilize blood sugar early in the day. Consume sugar after balanced meals containing fiber and protein, or during the afternoon when your body is more insulin sensitive. Incorporate physical activity into your routine to manage blood sugar levels more effectively after consuming sweets. By aligning your sugar intake with your body's natural rhythms and metabolic needs, you can enjoy treats in moderation without the undesirable spikes and crashes, making for a more balanced approach to managing your diet. Focus point 4. Combining foods wisely. Find out which food combinations help reduce the negative effects of sugar, including the role of fiber, protein, and fats. How you combine foods plays a crucial role in determining how your body responds to sugar. The negative effects of sugar, such as rapid glucose spikes and subsequent crashes, can be significantly mitigated by pairing it with foods rich in fiber, protein, and healthy fats. These macronutrients work together to slow down digestion and the absorption of glucose, resulting in more stable blood sugar levels and sustained energy. By understanding how to create balanced meals and snacks, you can enjoy sugar without suffering the usual highs and lows. The impact of fiber on sugar absorption. Fiber is often referred to as a superstar in the fight against blood sugar spikes. It slows down the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates, including sugar, by creating a gel-like substance in the intestines. This gel-like fiber matrix delays the release of glucose into the bloodstream, reducing the intensity of blood sugar spikes. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition demonstrated that consuming a fiber-rich diet can significantly improve glycemic control, especially in people with diabetes. The study found that participants who consumed more dietary fiber had lower postprandial, after eating, blood glucose levels, and were less likely to experience the sharp rises associated with high sugar intake. For instance, pairing a sweet fruit like a banana with high-fiber oatmeal will result in a slower and more controlled release of sugar into the bloodstream compared to eating the banana alone. In traditional cultures, meals often incorporate high-fiber foods such as legumes, vegetables, or whole grains, which prevent rapid sugar absorption. In India, the combination of lentils, high in fiber, with rice, a carbohydrate, is a staple, showing how such food combinations can help manage sugar intake over time. The role of protein in blood sugar stabilization. Protein is another key nutrient that can help balance the effects of sugar. It works by stimulating the release of glucagon, a hormone that counters the effects of insulin. This prevents a rapid drop in blood sugar after the initial spike, helping to keep your glucose levels stable. According to research published in the Journal of Nutrition, consuming protein alongside carbohydrates can reduce the glycemic response of a meal. This means that a protein-rich food like chicken, eggs, or Greek yogurt, when eaten with a source of sugar, will slow down the digestion of sugar and prevent the steep rise and fall in blood sugar levels. For example, having fruit with a handful of almonds or a slice of cheese can prevent the energy crashes commonly associated with sugary snacks. Protein not only blunts the impact of sugar, but also promotes feelings of fullness and satiety, which can help reduce the overall quantity of sugary foods consumed. By pairing protein with sugar, you're not only reducing its negative effects, but also naturally curbing the desire for more sugar. Fats, the unsung hero in blood sugar regulation. Healthy fats, like those found in nuts, seeds, avocados, and olive oil, play a powerful role in modulating the body's response to sugar. When consumed with sugar, fats slow down gastric emptying, the rate at which food leaves the stomach and enters the bloodstream. This means that sugar is absorbed more gradually, leading to smaller glucose spikes and a more even energy release. A clinical trial published in the Journal of Lipid Research found that consuming healthy fats with carbohydrates reduces postprandial blood glucose and insulin levels. The participants who ate meals containing both fat and sugar had lower and more stable glucose levels compared to those who ate meals without fat. A classic Mediterranean diet is a great example of how incorporating healthy fats with carbohydrates, including sugars, leads to better metabolic outcomes. Meals in this diet often combine olive oil, a healthy fat, with bread or pasta, and this combination helps stabilize blood sugar. Fats also enhance the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins, like vitamins A, D, E, and K from other foods, creating a more balanced and nutrient-dense meal. Including fats with sugar not only regulates glucose, but also improves the overall nutritional value of your diet. Synergistic effects of combining fiber, protein, and fats. The real power in managing sugar lies in the combination of fiber, protein, and fats. Each macronutrient has a distinct but complementary role in stabilizing blood sugar. When combined, they create a powerful buffer against the rapid digestion and absorption of sugar, allowing the body to process it slowly and efficiently. For instance, a smoothie made with a mix of fruits, sugar, spinach, fiber, Greek yogurt, protein, and a spoonful of almond butter, fat, is a prime example of how to blend these macronutrients effectively. While the fruit provides natural sugars, the fiber from the spinach, the protein from the yogurt, and the fats from the almond butter slow down sugar absorption, keeping blood sugar levels steady and preventing the typical energy roller coaster that sugary foods can trigger. In cultures where balanced eating is emphasized, such as in Japan, meals often combine protein, like fish, fats, like sesame oil, and fiber, like seaweed or vegetables, creating a synergy that helps manage sugar and carbohydrate intake more effectively. Mindful eating, a holistic approach to combining foods. Beyond the biological effects of these macronutrients, mindful eating practices can further enhance your ability to manage sugar. Slowing down while eating and savoring the flavors allows your body to signal fullness, preventing overeating and reducing the likelihood of consuming excessive amounts of sugar. When you combine this approach with balanced meals, you not only reduce the negative effects of sugar, but also cultivate a healthier relationship with food. The saying, "Eat food, not too much, mostly plants," coined by food author Michael Pollan, emphasizes the importance of combining nutrient-dense foods to achieve balance and wellness. By focusing on whole foods rich in fiber, protein, and fats, you naturally crowd out the need for excessive sugars while still enjoying them in moderation. Recommendations for combining foods wisely. Pair sugar with fiber-rich foods. Choose foods like vegetables, legumes, or whole grains when consuming sugary snacks. The fiber will slow digestion and sugar absorption, preventing spikes. Incorporate protein. Include protein sources like eggs, lean meats, yogurt, or plant-based proteins to stabilize your blood sugar and keep you feeling fuller longer. Add healthy fats to your meals. Use ingredients like avocado, nuts, seeds, and olive oil to slow the absorption of sugar and enhance the nutrient profile of your meal. Choose balanced snacks. For sugary snacks, opt for combinations like fruit with nuts, dark chocolate with almonds, or a smoothie with greens and protein powder to balance sugar with other macronutrients. Practice mindful eating. Take time to enjoy your meals, chew slowly, and pay attention to hunger and fullness cues. This helps prevent overindulgence and makes it easier to enjoy sugar in moderation. By focusing on these strategies, you can reduce the negative effects of sugar while still enjoying its pleasures, promoting long-term health and wellness. Focus point 5. Glucose hacks for sugar lovers. Practical, science-backed tips for stabilizing your blood sugar while still enjoying sweet foods. For those who love sweet foods but wish to avoid the associated health risks, science offers a variety of strategies or glucose hacks to help manage blood sugar levels without completely giving up sugar. These hacks are simple, everyday actions that anyone can incorporate into their routine to stabilize glucose and insulin responses, minimize energy crashes, and reduce long-term health risks related to high blood sugar. The vinegar hack, a simple but effective tool. One of the most researched glucose hacks involves the use of vinegar, particularly apple cider vinegar. Acetic acid, the key component in vinegar, has been shown to slow the breakdown of carbohydrates into sugar, leading to a more controlled release of glucose into the bloodstream. A study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that consuming vinegar before a carbohydrate-heavy meal can reduce the postprandial, after eating glucose spike, by up to 34% in healthy individuals. This hack is not just for special meals. It can be applied to your everyday diet. For instance, having a salad with a vinegar-based dressing before a pasta dish can significantly reduce the sugar spike that would normally follow a meal high in carbohydrates. This approach not only improves blood sugar control, but also adds a flavorful, tangy element to meals, making it a win-win for sugar lovers looking to maintain metabolic health. Walking after meals, a natural glucose regulator. Another powerful yet often overlooked glucose hack is walking after meals. Engaging in light physical activity post-meal can help muscles use glucose more efficiently, reducing the amount of sugar left circulating in the bloodstream. This is especially true after consuming high-sugar foods or carbohydrate-rich meals. A study conducted by the American Diabetes Association revealed that walking for 10 to 15 minutes after meals significantly reduced blood sugar levels in participants compared to those who remained sedentary. The reason is that muscles, even during light exercise, require glucose to function. By using glucose during a post-meal walk, the body lowers blood sugar more effectively than if you were sitting or lying down. Consider this hack whenever you've had a dessert or sugary treat. A short, brisk walk after indulging in something sweet will help your body process the sugar more efficiently, turning a potential sugar spike into a smooth glucose curve. It's a natural, free, and easy way to balance the effects of sugary foods. The power of savory breakfasts. The way you begin your day sets the tone for your blood sugar control. Studies show that consuming a breakfast high in protein and fat, rather than one rich in sugars or carbohydrates, can reduce sugar cravings later in the day and stabilize glucose levels. This is due to the fact that proteins and fats take longer to digest, which leads to a slower, more gradual release of glucose. In a study published in Obesity, researchers found that participants who consumed a protein-rich breakfast had fewer cravings for sweet foods throughout the day. Moreover, their blood glucose levels remained more stable, reducing the likelihood of energy crashes and subsequent sugar cravings. For instance, opting for scrambled eggs with avocado and whole grain toast instead of a sugary pastry can provide lasting energy without causing glucose spikes. By shifting the focus to savory, protein-packed breakfasts, you can maintain steady glucose levels throughout the day, making it easier to indulge in sweet foods later without risking massive sugar spikes. The timing of sweet treats post-meal versus pre-meal. One often overlooked glucose hack is the timing of when you consume sugary foods. It turns out that eating sweet treats immediately after a balanced meal can significantly reduce their impact on blood sugar compared to eating them on an empty stomach. According to research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, consuming sugar after a meal that includes fiber, protein, and fats helps slow down its absorption, preventing sharp spikes. When consumed on an empty stomach, sugar is absorbed much faster, leading to higher peaks in blood glucose. Thus, if you're going to indulge in a dessert, it's better to do so right after a meal rather than as a snack on its own. This simple shift in timing can make a big difference. If you crave a piece of cake or chocolate, consider enjoying it after lunch or dinner, when the rest of your meal can help buffer the glucose response. The protein leverage hypothesis, curbing sugar cravings with protein. The protein leverage hypothesis is a theory suggesting that the body craves sugar when it hasn't consumed enough protein. This hypothesis, which was explored in a study published in Appetite, proposes that our bodies are hardwired to seek out protein, and if we don't get enough, we may unconsciously crave other high-energy foods, especially sugar, as a form of compensation. Ensuring that your meals include adequate amounts of protein can help curb sugar cravings and naturally reduce the amount of sugar you consume. Instead of reaching for sugary snacks, try consuming a protein-rich snack like nuts, yogurt, or a hard-boiled egg. This strategy not only satisfies hunger, but also prevents the blood sugar roller coaster that often follows sugary snacks. Cinnamon, a sweet spike preventer. Cinnamon has been hailed as a natural glucose regulator due to its ability to improve insulin sensitivity. Research published in Diabetes Care showed that consuming cinnamon daily can lower blood sugar levels in individuals with type 2 diabetes. The spice helps cells respond more effectively to insulin, allowing sugar to be processed more efficiently and reducing post-meal glucose spikes. Incorporating cinnamon into your diet is a simple and enjoyable hack for managing blood sugar. Sprinkle it on oatmeal, add it to smoothies, or stir it into coffee for a natural way to help your body better manage glucose. While this hack won't eliminate the need to manage sugar intake, it's an easy addition to your daily routine that can provide subtle but noticeable improvements in blood sugar control. Recommendations for glucose hacks for sugar lovers. Use vinegar before meals. Incorporate vinegar, especially apple cider vinegar, into your meals to slow carbohydrate digestion and reduce glucose spikes. Take a post-meal walk. Engage in light physical activity, such as a 10 to 15-minute walk, after eating sugary or carbohydrate-rich meals to help muscles absorb glucose. Prioritize savory, protein-rich breakfasts. Start your day with a protein and fat-focused breakfast to stabilize glucose and reduce sugar cravings throughout the day. Eat sweets post-meal. Enjoy sugary treats after a balanced meal rather than on an empty stomach to slow their absorption and minimize spikes. Increase protein intake. Make sure to consume enough protein in your diet to curb sugar cravings, using the protein leverage hypothesis as a guideline. Add cinnamon to your meals. Incorporate cinnamon into your diet for its glucose-stabilizing properties, enhancing insulin sensitivity. These practical, science-backed glucose hacks allow you to enjoy sweet foods without sacrificing your health, giving sugar lovers a sustainable approach to indulging while maintaining balance and stability. Focus point 6. Mindful indulgence. Strategies for being more intentional and present with your food choices, so you can fully savor your sweets without guilt. Mindful indulgence is about developing a healthy relationship with food by being fully present and intentional with your choices. This approach encourages you to savor every bite, allowing for enjoyment without overconsumption or guilt. It reframes how we engage with sweet treats, not as temptations to be resisted or regretted, but as experiences to be appreciated in a balanced, conscious way. The science behind mindful eating. Research has shown that practicing mindfulness while eating can significantly improve our relationship with food. Mindful eating is rooted in paying attention to the sensory experiences of eating, the taste, texture, smell, and even the appearance of food. A study published in Appetite found that individuals who practiced mindful eating experienced reduced food cravings and were less likely to overeat compared to those who ate while distracted. By focusing on the present moment, we can create a more fulfilling and satisfying eating experience. Mindful indulgence is particularly effective for those who struggle with guilt after consuming sweets. When we allow ourselves to enjoy sugary foods fully, without the backdrop of stress or guilt, we're less likely to fall into cycles of binge eating or restriction. It's about shifting the narrative from, "I shouldn't eat this," to "I'm choosing to enjoy this consciously." The role of satiety and satisfaction. Often, we indulge in sweets out of habit or emotional impulse, rather than genuine hunger or desire. By practicing mindfulness, we can tune into our body's hunger and satiety signals. Research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition highlights that people who eat mindfully tend to eat less overall, because they recognize when they are full or satisfied sooner than those who eat while distracted. For instance, if you're eating a piece of chocolate, slow down and appreciate its flavor, texture, and aroma. When you savor each bite, you're more likely to feel satisfied after a smaller portion. This is a stark contrast to mindlessly eating an entire bar while watching TV or working, where you barely register the food you're consuming. This approach can be seen in the traditional Japanese tea ceremony, where every sip of tea is savored in silence and appreciation. The ceremony exemplifies how being present and fully engaged with food or drink can transform even the simplest indulgence into a deeply fulfilling experience. The power of pause. One of the most effective strategies for mindful indulgence is incorporating pauses during meals or snacks. Pausing allows time for reflection on whether you are truly enjoying the food or simply eating out of habit. This practice can prevent overconsumption and bring more awareness to the body's signals. Neuroscientist Judson Brewer, known for his work on habit formation and addiction, emphasizes the importance of mindful pauses. In his book, The Craving Mind, Brewer argues that the simple act of pausing to reflect on why we're eating, whether it's hunger, boredom, or stress, can break the automaticity of unhealthy eating behaviors. By applying this strategy when indulging in sweets, we create a space to assess whether the treat is meeting our emotional or physical needs. For example, the next time you're craving something sweet, pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I truly hungry, or am I eating out of stress or boredom? This intentional pause helps shift your decision-making process from autopilot to a more conscious choice, reducing the likelihood of overeating or feeling guilty afterward. Emotional versus physical hunger. Understanding the difference between emotional and physical hunger is key to mindful indulgence. Emotional hunger often drives us to reach for comfort foods, particularly sweets, when we're stressed, anxious, or upset. However, satisfying emotional hunger with food tends to lead to feelings of guilt because the underlying emotional need remains unaddressed. In contrast, physical hunger is a biological signal that our body needs nourishment. Learning to distinguish between the two allows us to eat more intentionally. By tuning into these cues, we can satisfy physical hunger with wholesome meals and reserve indulgent treats for moments of genuine enjoyment, not emotional relief. One way to identify emotional hunger is by its urgency. If you feel a sudden, intense craving for something sweet, it's likely driven by emotions. Mindful indulgence encourages us to recognize these moments and address the underlying emotions in healthier ways, whether through a walk, journaling, or talking to a friend. Savoring the experience, quality over quantity. Mindful indulgence is rooted in the concept of quality over quantity. Rather than eating large quantities of sweets mindlessly, it encourages you to enjoy smaller portions of high-quality, satisfying treats. This shift not only allows you to relish the sensory experience, but also prevents the guilt that often accompanies overindulgence. One compelling example comes from France, where people are known for their love of pastries and sweets. Despite this, France has lower rates of obesity compared to other countries. Researchers attribute this to the French approach to food, eating smaller portions, but taking the time to savor every bite. This cultural practice embodies the essence of mindful indulgence, where quality and the pleasure of eating are prioritized over mindless consumption. Recommendations for mindful indulgence. Practice mindful eating. Engage all your senses while eating: taste, smell, texture, and appearance. Slow down and savor each bite, which can lead to greater satisfaction and reduced cravings. Tune into hunger and satiety cues. Before indulging, ask yourself if you're genuinely hungry or if emotional factors are driving the craving. This awareness will help you make more intentional food choices. Incorporate pauses. Pause during meals to reflect on whether you're still enjoying the food or simply eating out of habit. These moments of reflection create space for more conscious decision-making. Distinguish between emotional and physical hunger. Learn to identify whether your desire for sweets is driven by emotional needs or physical hunger. Address emotional hunger through non-food-related coping strategies. Prioritize quality over quantity. Choose smaller portions of high-quality sweets and take the time to fully enjoy them. This shift in mindset can help you avoid overeating and reduce feelings of guilt. By practicing mindful indulgence, you can transform your relationship with sweets from one of guilt and compulsion to one of enjoyment and balance. This approach fosters a sense of control over your cravings, while allowing you to savor and appreciate the sweetness in life, both literally and figuratively. Conclusion. As we wrap up this audiobook, let's briefly revisit the key focus points. We began by exploring the science of sugar, understanding how it impacts our body, particularly through glucose, insulin, and dopamine responses. Next, we uncovered how to manage cravings, learning that sugar cravings don't need to lead to guilt or deprivation, but can be effectively managed through mindful choices. We also discussed timing your treats, emphasizing the importance of eating sweets at optimal times to avoid harmful blood sugar spikes and crashes. We then explored combining foods wisely, where the role of fiber, proteins, and fats in mitigating the effects of sugar was highlighted, helping to stabilize glucose levels and improve overall health. In Glucose Hacks for Sugar Lovers, we provided practical tips backed by science to help stabilize blood sugar while still enjoying your favorite sweets. Finally, Mindful Indulgence taught us how to savor treats with intention and presence, allowing us to enjoy sweets guilt-free while maintaining control over our food choices. Practical recommendations. Practice mindful eating by slowing down and truly savoring your food. Manage cravings by paying attention to emotional hunger versus physical hunger. Time your sugar intake strategically, such as after meals, to reduce spikes. Combine your foods wisely, prioritizing fiber, protein, and fats when indulging in sweets. Implement glucose hacks like walking after a meal or adding vinegar to meals to stabilize blood sugar. Be present with your food, allowing yourself to enjoy indulgences fully and consciously. The learning experience. Throughout this journey, you've gained valuable insights into how to enjoy sugar in a more balanced, intentional way, free from guilt or the fear of its negative health consequences. This knowledge empowers you to make informed choices that align with both your physical and emotional well-being. The pleasure of food should never come at the cost of health, and with these strategies, you can indulge responsibly and happily. Thank you for investing your time and interest in this audiobook. We hope you found these insights helpful and that they'll inspire healthier, more mindful eating habits in your life. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, and share the audiobook with others who may benefit. And remember, at Media Deem, we believe that the more you listen, the better you speak. By engaging with audiobooks like this, not only are you enhancing your understanding of important topics, but also improving your English language skills. Keep listening, stay curious, and continue your journey toward a healthier, more fulfilling life.